SpongeBob's day starts with him waking up starving. He hasn't eaten in a while, and he wants an ice cream sundae because it's Sunday. So, he decides to check his fridge, only to realize it's empty.
Hey. Whoops! Looks like we're out of ice cream. Guess I'll have to use something else.
SpongeBob still wants his ice cream sundae, so he decides to make a budget version. And this thing is a struggle meal. He uses a gigantic bottle of ketchup and 2 extra large bags of onions for the base, but we're not finished. For the cherry on top, he adds a dead peanut plant that's been growing in his toilet. Yup, you heard that right. Not peanut butter, not a peanut, just a literal plant. He didn't even remove it from the pot. I don't know how he didn't notice. The soil is literally green. SpongeBob exits his kitchen with visible fumes surrounding him. The smell was too much for Gary to handle, and he gets immediately incapacitated. SpongeBob then leaves his house and checks his Sunday to-do list. Jokes aside, I'm pretty sure this is employee abuse, but thank God that wasn't today's list. His real Sunday mission is to say hi to everyone in Bikini Bottom. He runs off and literally says hello to some random fish, and the fish runs away covering his nose. SpongeBob thinks he's just late for work, though. Then, he says hi to the mailman, who literally cracks like one of those Russian dolls. I think this is when SpongeBob realizes something weird's going on. Then comes the worst part. He says hi to the crossing guard lady, and she is not having it. She runs away, and these kids crossing the street get run over. Just kidding. It was a marching band. But still, SpongeBob decides to give every single person in the band a hello, which causes all the stink breath to come together, and I kid you not, it blows the whole marching band off their feet. They get flung like bowling pins. The marching band realizes it's best not to face Mr. Stink Breath over here, so they just flee. And SpongeBob's just standing there, having emptied the town with his diarrhea breath. This is the moment where he 100% realizes something weird's going on, because everyone's running away from him, and there seemed to be a giant pile of bubble gum just lying around. But it's just Patrick. SpongeBob explains what's been happening, and to show Patrick some proof, he tells him to watch. He literally just breathes, and a whole building runs away. But the problem is Patrick doesn't have a nose, so he doesn't notice any difference. First, he thinks it's the way SpongeBob's dressed. Then he thinks it's his voice, so SpongeBob pulls out some vocals. Then Patrick finally comes to a conclusion.
Well, maybe it's just because you're ugly.
Ugly? You gotta be kidding me.
At first, SpongeBob just doesn't believe it. But then Patrick makes him try the reflection test, and the mirror literally breaks itself to escape the stink. SpongeBob then just goes crazy. He asks a couple if he's ugly, and they just kill themselves. He then jumps on an innocent guy's windshield and asks him the same question, which burns the guy's eyes, causing him to swerve, and then boom, his car just explodes. Notice how it didn't crash into anything? SpongeBob's diarrhea breath literally destroyed his car. SpongeBob finally accepts it. He's ugly. It's nighttime, and Patrick visits SpongeBob's house asking for some bath beads, but SpongeBob is nowhere to be found. That's when Patrick finds him in his study, depressed. So Patrick decides to cheer him up with a story.
It's called the Ugly Barnacle. Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
I swear Patrick is doing this on purpose, because there was no reason to share that story. Then Patrick decides to give some real advice for once. He takes him to the roof and gives him some David Goggins level motivation.
Say it.
I'm ugly.
You're ugly and what?
Square?
No, proud.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Good. Say it louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. I am ugly and I'm proud. I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Is that what he calls it?
Then the pair decide to go to the movies. While SpongeBob's trying to find a seat, he says, "Pardon me," and I kid you not, his sewer breath causes 2 victims to just die and start floating. But Patrick reassures SpongeBob that they were only respecting his self-esteem. They take a seat, and SpongeBob tells the lady sitting next to him that she should enjoy the film and that his ugliness shouldn't distract her. The diarrhea fumes from his mouth cause her to literally vaporize. We then get this gem of a clip.
Excuse me, sir. I hope my horrible ugliness won't be a distraction to you.
Not at all, boy!
But this is the last straw. SpongeBob just breaks down, and Patrick can't stand seeing his friend like this, so he starts raging. He picks up SpongeBob and just starts showing him to everyone. But alas, Mr. Toilet Mouth's breath is so bad, everyone runs away. He literally clears the whole cinema.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! I want all of you to look at it!
After Patrick calms down, he realizes there's probably no line at the snack bar.
Hello? They must be on break.
Instead of waiting, SpongeBob remembers he still has some of his peanut onion sundae they could share. But this unhygienic sponge pulls it out of his pocket. The fumes literally burn Patrick's eyebrows off. But Patrick isn't bothered and eats it right off his hand, and not even a second later, he feels some explosive diarrhea coming, so he heads to the toilets. After finishing his business, he's washing his hands when he runs out of soap. He asks the fish next to him for some, and his nasty poop breath robs the guy somehow. He then tries to tell a group of fish if they want to hear a bathroom joke.
Hey, do you guys want to hear a bathroom joke?
You trying to kill us?
That's ridiculous. This place.
Patrick then realizes
Oh, I caught the ugly!
Patrick locks himself in a stall, and SpongeBob comes to check up on him, but he refuses to leave. SpongeBob gives him some advice, but Patrick refuses.
Remember what we talked about. There's power in pride.
That may be fine for you, but I was one of the beautiful people. Now look at me. I'm almost as ugly as you.
They then realize they're not ugly, they just have stinky breath.
Patrick, my Sunday gave us rancid breath.
What you mean?
I mean, we're not ugly. We just stink.
Stink?
We stink. We stink. We stink.
Honestly, I really like this episode. Everything about it. The peanut onion sundae, the diarrhea breath, the fish dying. It's just classic SpongeBob. Tell me what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.
Yes.
I
I stink. Smell me.